This movement keeps walking in my house, and it's making my life like 20,000 times more awkward and difficult than it ever needs to be. Oh well. It's Monday here on the channel. I'm obviously a new Monday. I am not the Monday you're used to. My name's Jennifer. I'm 16 years old. Just barely. Like 15 in a week, basically. And unlike most of you, you can probably tell I'm not in the United Kingdom. I was actually born in Bristol. I am not there right now, however. I live in North Carolina. It's on the east coast of the United States. Technically southern, but I obviously do not sound southern, so there's always that. This week's topic is insecurity and body image in media, with particularly a focus on transgender and gender variant teens and young adults. I personally find that there's not even anything to really base it off of on television. The only transgender character that I can think of immediately that comes to mind is Unique from Glee, which is, in my opinion, a personal opinion, an absolutely awful representation of transgender characters on television. I think that Unique is personally a not particularly great representation of transgender characters on Glee. Not even for the reason of how her character is built, but for the way that everyone else treats her character. Obviously, in a high school setting, it may, as awful as it is, be realistic. It's also particularly offensive and just very vulgar. Like, the slurs and sort of the violence and the comments that are made are just, it would make sense if it was a lesson sort of thing where it was one particular episode, but it's a continual every episode sort of thing. So I think that's when it reaches a point where it's not particularly acceptable. And apart from that, I can't really think of anything. I mean, just for people on TV shows in general, it's if you are like this, and this, then you are this type of person. And if you are this, and this, then you're that type of person. And I mean, that goes for both genders, but especially women. I find that men seem to have like a much smaller range. Like, I mean, they're still like, that's the jock and that's this, but like with women it's a lot more wide and like very strictly defined almost sort of positions of how people are and how people are supposed to act depending on who they are. I find that in YouTube or YouTube-based creations of sorts and music, it tends to be a lot better as far as helping with insecurities on different types of people. You get a wider range of people that you're seeing, and it's not so strictly defined where you're basically essentially being told who you are. Where on television and other mainstream forms of media, it's if you're this, then you're this, and you have to be that or else you're just a freak. Which is not particularly great for helping the people that are watching it with any sort of insecurities that they have, which is not good. Also, not necessarily for body image, but just image in general. For queer teens, I feel like people automatically stick to stereotypes that are presented to them just because if they see it more than once, then they just automatically believe that it must be true. And I feel like that doesn't help when people are constantly trying to throw labels at other people, which is rampant in high school and like just schooling environments in general. And when people believe in stereotypes, no matter how true they are, there's always gonna be someone that's different than that stereotype, which can definitely hurt their their identity of who they are personally. For example, we had a meeting at my school's Gay Straight Alliance, and one of the topic for that week had been stereotypes of queer teens in media. And the conversation started fine. We talked about just the different stereotypes of gay men in media, and like that's as far as we'd gotten. And all of a sudden this guy just goes, you know, straight people are stereotyped in media too. We need to talk about that while we're here as well, since this is gay straight alliance. As if that somehow like made some sort of a difference to what the topic of the week was. And I mean, obviously there are stereotypes for everyone in media, but for queer teens, like especially in smaller towns, what they see on the media is the only sort of representation that they get of anyone or anything that's not heteronormative. That's all I have to say this week.